Tambourine. It's for this part, remember? I know. Just go get that tambourine and come back. It ain't Throwback Thursday without the tambourine. What's up, Facebook? Come on in. I hate people like, come on in. That's the day. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. And then once you put your name and you go in and cut your volume all the way down on your phone.
Okay. Or there's another one. You want to come in after this song? Okay, I think I put it in. I just put it talking off. So make sure it's in.
Oh. The trap attorney.
We got 13 seconds.
Okay.
Woo! All right.
It's a kinship, it's a friendship, it's a relationship, and all that means is what a brunch bunchship. Guess what? It is my favorite day of the week. It is Thursday, Throwback Thursday. And in order to know where you're going, you must know where you come from. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Guess what? Today is a holiday. It is Tamara Fair's birthday. Woo! Listen, of course, Tamara Fair is not on the air. She is in the air on her way back from Jamaica. But we want to wish her a very, 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 very happy birthday. I pray that God continues to add years to her life and life to her years. But filling in for Tamara Fair, who's not on the air, we got a special guest co-host. I believe it is his first time on the Brunch Bunch. He is a world-renowned comedian, actor, philanthropist. He played a Oompa Loompa in It's none other than one of my favorite comedians, Jeremiah Frazier. Welcome.
Thank y'all. Thank you for having me. What's up, Brunch Bunch? What y'all feeling today? It's your boy Jeremiah Frazier. As you've heard, they call me Freeway because I'm here every day. Not at this station, but living.
You living
Freeway every day.
Living
today,
every day.
On the airway.
On the airway. Freeway is on the airway. We are so happy to have you. Listen, believers, today is my favorite day of the week. As you know, we got throwback hits. We got some hot topics. Listen, we got some hot topics. But you know what? I grew up in the church.
Come on.
And I know you grew up in the church.
Know I grew up.
And when you grew up in the church, you have to be ye also ready, right?
Especially if you're coaching.
When you church God in Christ, you better stay ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But I say that to say, sometimes you think you come to church just to do one thing or not to do nothing, and they'll call your name on program. So she came as a special guest today, but I'm upgrading her on program. She's going to be another special guest co-host, and that's none other than my attorney, India Rios.
She's going to start with an A selection.
Hi, everybody. It's Attorney India Rios here. So happy to be here with you all today. So grateful to Marcel for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you. I know you waiting on your special interview. We're going to get there. But you know what? I want you to be a part of the entire show this hour. We're going to talk some hot topics. Maybe you can give us some legal input. We're going to talk. I got a wedding called Cassidy. Now, Attorney India, we're going to give her a real good introduction shortly. But just know she is somebody.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Frazier.
I can see. Y'all can't see the radio. Well, maybe y'all can, but this is the type of lawyer I need next to me in court.
Well, listen. For more reasons than one, right?
Not guilty.
Believers, if you don't want to miss today's show, it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna laugh. We ain't gonna cry. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna talk some serious stuff. And Attorney India, for all you entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, she's going to be talking about how to protect your brand and how to protect your business so you don't want to go anywhere. As Charmaine Riquette from Uncle Remus Saucy Fried Chicken always says, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390.
Hey, it's Jeremiah Action Jackson.
All right.
Put some mild sauce on
Put
that
some
thing.
mild sauce on.
Boy, you gonna make me find that truck when we get out of here. She need a program.
Yeah,
No.
no. Program. That's like a church. Yeah, I need
Give her a program.
Oh,
Give her a program.
you know what?
Yeah, I'm supposed to know. India, nice to meet you as well.
All right.
Let me
Now,
see
what
what
type of attorney are you?
Trademark,
Okay.
business.
I ripped that story up. Did he reprint it? Let me see. Or you took it from me?
Come on, give me a Gucci purse. Give me a Gucci
Oh,
purse.
I think I ripped
want
it.
the
Yeah.
stock hold the car. Look at it. You know she real. Look at the thickness of this. She got the stock card there. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
She paid extra for that and got it out of Gucci purse. This is beautiful.
Here you
I
go,
definitely need
Candace. Attorney Rio's card.
We'll talk, cause that's. I got a lot of things I need to trade.
I meant to ask you your last name. I know it. I'm the origin. The origin. Okay.
Oh, no habla español.
No habla.
Oh, for real.
Yeah, black. As Marcel knows.
Yes.
Without even knowing us. As he know without even knowing.
You say your mom ain't no Rios.
Yeah, not at all. Penny Louise.
Penny Louise. That say it all right there. Go ahead, mama. We just talking about old school mama.
Where is Demario?
How you doing?
Text that group chat
Oh,
now
that's
to where.
she's my cousin, but today she's my marketing
Y'all
manager.
look like twins.
My marketing manager.
Hey, cousin, you live in Chicago too?
She just moved up here with me.
Okay.
From where?
From Ohio?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
How long you been here now? Yeah.
Oh, we girl ain't seen nothing.
Loving the city though.
Come on.
Oh, it be in the hat outside. I seen you on the story. I seen you on the story.
Attention motorists, get your new Buddy Bear yearly Buddy Pass for as low as $17 a month for the entire.
So we're gonna talk a little politics.
Let's rock with it.
And then
Which one? You doing Biden's thing?
Migrants.
Okay, that's this.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, that's both.
So I just run through the story, then we talk
Tell
about
some migrant jokes.
it. Of course.
Good. Good. Get your cameras ready.
Look, I was about to say our Gen Z over here may not like that.
Oh, he'll be all right.
Tina said, I love your guest co-host.
No.
I love your guest co-host. He's the hype man for Dr. Carol Cullerman. Stay lit.
Yeah, I am. Who said that?
She can see you right there. Look,
Oh, hey,
girl.
girl.
He acting like a senior citizen.
I'm
You know?
I ain't done StreamYard.
Oh, you gotta help.
I ain't done StreamYard since the pandemic. So
That's why I found it.
and it's yes.
All right,
It works
5,
wonders.
4,
And
3.
let's make magic in the classroom.
We're in the wrong with Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
So, of course, I'm not Tamara Fair, but yesterday we talked about the migrant crisis that is plaguing America. And could Chicago see a slowdown in the number of migrants coming due to the recent proclamation from President Biden? But the measure is getting mixed reactions from local leaders as thousands of migrants continue to live in city-run shelters. Now, the Biden administration issued joint measures Tuesday that would sharply limit border crossings by asylum seekers outside of having an appointment at legal ports of entry, and it would allow the federal government to quickly deport anyone who crosses illegally. Now, asylum seekers and other migrant arrivals already in Chicago won't be affected by President Biden's order. Still, the city could be impacted by these policy changes, said Lisa Coop, Director of Legal Services for the National Immigrant Justice Center. There are likely migrants in Chicago who were separated from family on their journey north, and the people coming later might now get stuck at the border because of these rules, Coop said. Chicago could also see fewer migrants arriving because they're barred from entering the U.S. through pathways that were previously available, such as seeking asylum, Coop said. Even those who cross the border undetected and make their way to Chicago would be subject to the efforts of this ban, Coop said. Anyone deported could be slapped with a 5-year bar on trying to enter the country again and possibly persecuted, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Now, these new measures will go into effect when the average daily number of unlawful border crossings hit 2,500 over a 1 week period, meaning it should be happening immediately, according to the Associated Press. Now, the policies would be rolled back 2 weeks after 7 consecutive days when the daily average of entries at the southern border was 1,500 or fewer, a rate that has not been seen since the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the order makes exceptions for unaccompanied children crossing the border and limited other exceptions. Now, seeking asylum in the U.S. has always been a complex process, and these new rules, and I quote, only add to the obstacles asylum seekers face, Coop said. The National Immigrant Justice Center will sue over the measures, Coop said. The absolute absurdity of this is that the Biden administration seems to be saying, because there are so many asylum seekers, we need to stop helping asylum seekers, Coop said. Just because more people may need protection doesn't mean we need to stop protecting everybody and shut off access to the protection altogether. End quote. Now, there's so many layers to peel back on this, but I do want to say this. I'm going to reiterate what I said yesterday. Trump tried to do the same exact thing, and it was opposed. President Biden said that this is not a political move, but it's 5 months before election time when we've been having this crisis for a while now, right? The third thing is when the Haitian refugees came over and were trying to seek asylum in this country, they were being roped up in Texas, and I still have the footage and the pictures. Just because we ain't talking about it don't mean it didn't happen, right? So I'm just not, I'm gonna be very cautious in what I say, but I'll say that if you're gonna allow asylum seekers in, you gotta allow them all in, right? And Black refugees that want to seek asylum should be getting the same treatment. But it is a crisis, and we gotta protect our borders. I mean, that's just like leaving my house door open and everybody just coming in and telling me I'm gonna live here now. No, we can't do that. I only got 1 bedroom available. Y'all all trying to live here. So
I think it's not about helping them all. It's the rate that they come in.
Yeah.
And look, I don't know. Listen. I see it everywhere. Not just Chicago, Detroit, New York. Everywhere I travel, migrants are everywhere. This is just not a Chicago problem, okay? And the problem is, I don't know. They just coming too fast. I don't know if they Amazon Priming them.
You know what?
They getting here the next day, and who ordered another batch of migrants? Who did that? You know how Amazon show up. I know I ain't got nothing yesterday.
That is kind of fun. They are coming fast. The only people I know get delivered that fast is Amazon. Attorney India.
So one thing, I don't want to speak out of turn at all.
No, go ahead.
One thing that I do believe is that if you guys recall, when Trump was in office, that was before the governor, I believe, of Texas started busing us.
Right.
Correct.
Because that's how we started getting the migrants were really just a Texas problem.
Right.
And he strategically, in a sense, which I won't condone, the acts themselves, because, there's controversy as to whether they're humane or not, right? But he made this a national problem.
Correct.
A selective national problem because he only dropping them off in Democratic states.
That became sanctuary states, though.
Yeah, that he a selective problem because of where he's
with
dropping
Black
them
mayors.
Off. But I think that the issue that Biden has now is that, before when it was just Texas's problem and Trump was in office, Trump was looking to help Texas.
Correct.
Right. But now it's America's problem because Texas has made it America's problem by sending them everywhere. So now he has to take action in a sense.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do I think this could also be potentially politically motivated? For sure. What do you think? I think every move that they make every day is politically
chestnut checkers.
And they
from,
that's true.
Well, I like what you said. I like both points, right? And I got it. Listen, a good move is a good move, no matter what party. Governor Abbott made a good move.
This is chess, not chess.
Because here's what we do in life, period. Yeah. If a problem isn't affecting us, we're not talking about it. We're not advocating for it. We don't care about it because it's not our problem. But he said, okay, since you all are telling me y'all want to keep the migrants coming in, you want to let 2,500 a day come in, cool, let them come. But I'm going to ship them to you because it's not just my problem. This is the country. Because I was
They say, oh, 3 of them fit in here. Bring them in the dog.
You know what?
Like, y'all ain't putting no migrants in my dog house. I'm still breathing.
You know what? I think when you say this, and then when we look, and I understand, I hope Facebook, do me a thumbs up if you can hear us still. Sorry. But what the issue, and I think black people are the most welcoming people in the world.
Yeah.
Until we ain't.
But we don't get too tired too quick. That's our problem. But Reverend Jesse Jackson said the black community is still suffering from the epidural that we received that hasn't worn off. And that's why we allow pain to keep happening to us. Because we don't, quote unquote, feel it. Right. But when you see the migrant crisis, I was out and I went to, on the west side, I went to Maxwell's on Independence, and off the expressway. And you know, that's the hood. Yeah. And there's always a line out there. But it was a line full of migrants at about 12:30 at night. And I was so shocked.
Getting Polishes with onions? Oh, my goodness.
But I'm like, well, this is, and then, but it took me to, here's where we see black people really having issues with this crisis, right? Because it's not only a city thing, it's now in our community, and we've been bombarded. And of course, we letting them in, and they knocking on doors, or they taking over houses. But I think anybody should be treated humanely, right?
Humanely.
And if they made it here, then we, got to take care of them. But shutting the border down, I understand. And when I saw the news, now, the heart, the compassion was, they did the camera and the line, and I saw like pregnant women, I saw children. Yeah. And my man was like, let them in. But then I was like, now, wait a minute. Where are the resources are?
I have a question for you. What do you know about the migrants? Do you know much about them?
Like that's
so one thing I like to say, and I think definitely like we have issues with the structure and how things are going, but most of the migrants are from the Northern Triangle. So they're from Guatemala, Honduras, and I believe
Venezuela,
right? Yeah. So they're from that area, and it's like really, really bad. They're so bad, in fact, that I was reading a story on like a CNN article about a woman who walked like from Honduras through Guatemala to catch this train called the Beast at the bottom of Mexico that rides from the bottom of Mexico to the Texas border, basically. And they ride like on the top of this train. Her baby fell off the train. She lost her arm saving her baby. Her baby lost his leg. And they were interviewing this woman, and she was like, we're like bandaged up now. Their wounds were like a little bit healed where they were in Mexico, or where they were at the part of where the train stopped. They were waiting for the train to come again so that they can get back on the top of the train so that they could come to America.
True story.
So like that's the type of whatever type of persecution or situations these people are running away from. It's really two sides to this coin. It's like we're desperate for life in a sense, right? And this is supposed to be a place where people who are desperate for life can seek refuge. At least that's how we branded
So
ourselves.
ironically, I was at a restaurant and my waiter, because I talk to my waiters. Anybody bring you food, I need to know.
I want to know
where you from and how you doing today.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your name?
Right.
And if I don't understand, you Google Translate gonna
That's
tell
right.
me.
And she told me she was from Venezuela. So I picked her brain. I said, well, tell me about this what's going on in Venezuela. And she told me, well, I came here because in Venezuela, you're only allowed to make $5 a week. And that's the equivalent to American money, $5 a week. So I said, so it's basically almost slavery. She said, yes, it's definitely a dictatorship. And so, yes, you are absolutely right about that. And that's why she's my attorney. I just hired her right now. I don't even know if you charging me yet, but put me on the clock. But
I'm glad you said
those stories were confirmed.
Those stories are very good, but it takes me back. And trust me, I have a heart. Let me preface with this. I gotta say this.
I can't wait. Come
but
on.
I am about when we talk about law and order rules, right? And there are rules and there are channels that we have to go through. And when we start bending these rules and changing rules, we have a problem.
Correct.
Now, if they got here and we're saying, okay, they're here, we're going to take care of them. But now we're saying they can come to Chicago public schools without any immunization, without all of this. But there are parents that are in this country. Some of us ancestors were brought here without warning, didn't want to be here, but we're here. but we don't want to immunize our kids. They can't go to school. Then we're going to jail. We got DCFS. So it's like when you start changing rules, that's when I have a problem.
Correct. That to me, I agree with 100%. You don't get to just come and fit in.
Yeah.
It's not to get in where you fit in. We got
too
much going on.
If you open the border, that's cool. You're letting them in, but let's make sure that there's
some structure, some type of waiting period to make sure that everybody is safe, that you're not carrying nothing that we ain't supposed to have. And then that you know the language, because a lot of the kids were thrown in the school system and they don't speak a lick of English.
Yeah.
And they were thrown in the schools where we are teaching. The African Americans, a lot of us are not bilingual. Yeah. So it's like, what are we doing with little Venezuela?
And prior to this, I used to have a problem with where we had to be bilingual to get a job, right? And the issue was, if I open a business and I say you have to speak Ebonics and understand it, then I can't do that though, right? I don't have my own language from my people because it was stripped away from me.
Right.
But and my ancestors, so I don't have a problem with it. I just believe in structure. If you have rules set, they apply to everyone.
Correct.
If you're not letting licenses come through in 2 days, and I had to wait 2 years,
Let's talk about it, especially with the way these roads have been looking. And not to mention, let's talk about taxes, because our little children we paying taxes for them.
Yeah,
correct. CPS schools and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
That are already underfunded.
They already was underfunded. They already was oversized in the classrooms. They already had all of these problems when it was just us. And I hate to be come from that space, but we got to take care of our own.
Yeah.
And when I think about even things like student loans, we got $700 million for migrants, but we don't got no student loan money.
Listen,
hello.
India, you don't have to.
You don't have no money for us. You
don't have to hate from coming from a place that you standing on business.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And I agree with you. We standing on business. No, if we had to go through a process, then it out of not just fairness, but what the law is, everybody should go through that process.
We got a crisis in the Congo that the news is not reporting on, where Africans are in slavery and being killed to mine natural resources that are used to build our phones and batteries and Teslas. But we're not talking about them. And unfortunately, they can't get out of where they at and come to America. But it just takes me back to the Haitians. They made it here, and that was when you want to get out of somewhere that bad, you swimming through oceans and making it.
Yeah.
But they would send back, turned around, and no help was provided. And that's why I see the problem. If you're gonna do for one, do for them all, or don't do for nobody. Old folks used to say, sweep in front of your own front door before you try to sweep in front of mine.
Yeah.
So America, sweep in front of your own front door. Make sure it's clean.
Yeah. Get a broom and a mop. Because it's been dirty around here.
And some Clorox.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're praying, and that story just touched me, India. That woman. I mean, people are living in some bad situations, and they can't get out. I just got back from Jamaica, and trust me, these what Trump called them blank hole countries, because they're black countries. They endure so much. They don't make a lot of money. They don't have the resources. They don't have the government that we have. They're crooked government. Because you get pulled over Jamaica, they just want you to put a few dollars in their pockets. They're going to let you go. That's the type of country that is. And Venezuela and all of that. But we just got to pray. And we want our country to do right by the citizens in this country first. And then take care of everybody else, right?
Right.
I can't get nobody to help me up.
Right.
To the best.
Can I get an offering?
Everybody might not be getting taken care of, but as long as you're taking care of the home team, I think that's what's most important.
That's it. And you know what? This morning when I rose, I didn't have no doubt.
Come on.
It's Throwback Thursday, Mississippi Man's Choir. When I rose, right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Now who that lady is?
Joyful over here.
This is it's up. Zoe.
Oh no.
Zoe, how did you go to Joyful?
It was Sister Act.
And I wanted to talk about Joyful before it came on.
It's their 20-year anniversary. 30-year anniversary.
Can you believe that was 30?
Lord,
It don't matter. See, you're a Gen Z. You don't know
Lord,
that
you know
about.
what? She wasn't on time. She made it for part
So
2.
it didn't matter. Lord, everybody who grew up with Sister Act was so happy to see that. Was you happy to see it? What? See, you Gen Zers, I tell you.
Man.
What do I think about Lauren Hill? We knew she wasn't going to show up, though.
Yeah, we knew she wasn't showing up. So what was the song that was supposed to play?
When I Rose. Is it look, hey, look, right under What a Fellowship. Or Zoe. It was cut because we didn't need a second song because we were on time, right?
Oh, okay.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, because that was the song that was going to come.
That was the. I got you.
So next is What's Going On. Is that correct?
Zoe's gonna change it to What in the Car Cassidy.
What in the car, Cassidy?
I'm telling her now, she on live too.
Hey, Charmaine, can she hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, girl. Can I get a wing today? Where you at?
Right. So this was amazing to see yesterday. Justice. I watched the entire special. Tina said Lauren is still on the way. Lauren Hill. No, it was so nice to hear them speak and to see them. And I can't believe that was 30 years ago. Charmaine said, absolutely.
Okay, I want that wing now.
30 years ago. You're not even 30 yet, attorney.
Wow.
Say it again for the cheap people.
Hello? Whoopi Goldberg ain't age.
Oh, he ain't right. He wasn't even born when this movie came out.
Right, he talking about Lauren Hill.
Both
of y'all wasn't here. How about that?
So I was raised by people who made me right.
Listen,
that is a cult
let me tell you
classic.
something about Lauren Hill. She may not come when you want her.
And she ain't going to be on time.
And you better be grateful if she shows up. And that's what she's going to tell you, too, to be grateful.
I enjoyed that. And when Whoopi cried, first of all, I love Whoopi Goldberg. I'm in love with Whoopi.
Lucky I showed up.
Is that what she said?
To Chicago, right? Ain't that what she said?
She didn't say that to this city.
And she cut it. Did you put she? Zoe, oh Lord, Zoe. Zoe DJing, you DJ swagging. She said, I'm gonna play that song for you.
Spin on it. Okay, girl.
She heard what you were saying, so she did it for you.
Tina, you are not that old.
Tina, you wasn't no 28 when that came out.
Oh, she talked 30 years ago.
You know, I went to CPS and when they said 30, I was like,
yeah.
Then I said, you know what? All I had to do was 5 when it came out.
Yeah.
Six. Wow, bro. Man. 25. 24? Oh.
25.
I was 9.
We getting old, y'all, when we could say 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's slowly starting to happen for me just because stuff is now turning 20 years old. I'm like, oh, I was...
All right, Tina. That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
cut this and throw in What in the Caucasus so we can do this story and get in our interview with Attorney India.
Oh, you have your,
Oh, did you scratch this?
Okay, do commercials, then What in the Caucasus.
So before you cut that, did somebody clarify the story? Because I heard 2 stories. I heard one, they trying to say he didn't let him shake his hand because they didn't do nothing about the daughter being bullied, or was it because he was black? Or is it a combination of both?
We're going to talk about that live. I don't And then I gave him the You Big Dummy Award. Why would you get on court? Can y'all in there? Why would you get on court driving?
He said, give me a second. I'm fine.
It happens a lot more. Like this little situation
For
with
real?
Byron, yeah. Like judges often have to make announcements in the court. Like they'll just make blanket announcements on Zoom court. Like if your license is suspended, I do not want to see you driving. If your license is not suspended, you should not be driving on your cell phone. If you are in a car, you need to be pulled over and stopped.
You would think that's
What's
common
wrong
sense.
with pulling over and getting on the passenger side, and then you can still put the seatbelt on, sir?
Because I know
Just
people
get on
who
the
license
passenger
suspended
side.
and they drive themselves to court.
I
They
see
ain't on
Because you
video.
ain't on video.
I see
1
about
minute,
Because I definitely have done that before.
My man said he lost his privileges
Drove
at the church.
myself to court.
I say, I hope he wasn't driving the seniors.
Right.
What were your privileges?
He went to court. He had his cane. I felt so bad
Driving
for
the
him.
church
Like,
van.
what, they give him like 6 months or something?
They
He was
incarcerated.
like, he remanded until court, and I think it's in like October.
Oh, why court so long?
That's
You know, I'm a
probably
law and order
he lied.
SVU professional, so when he said remanded, I'm like, oh, he going to jail.
Man, yeah.
And that sucks when you out in your car knowing that you gotta go turn yourself in to go to jail.
Ooh.
Well, because where he gonna go? Everybody know him. He can't even get gas, sir.
Right.
You the court dude, ain't you?
Because he went viral. I couldn't believe that. But how did they get that video? Who put the video up? Somebody who was on court?
Somebody was on court with him, was like, wait a minute. I gotta. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. I've been in traffic court on Zoom court. I ain't coming. I know y'all charging me.
I ain't been to Zoom court yet.
I've been to Zoom. You don't need to go.
seconds.
Grab your copy now and let's make magic in the classroom.
3, 2, 1.
What in the caucasity?
So on today's episode of What in the Caucasity, I haven't had to talk about crazy white people in a while, but you know what?
Really?
Well, I just chose not to. I was protecting my peace.
Okay.
I'm like,
We just talked about a few Republicans, but I'm gonna let that slide.
so the father of a Baraboo, now the name right there should say a lot, Baraboo High School graduate, forcibly pulled the district superintendent away from his daughter as she crossed the stage to receive a congratulatory handshake during the school's graduation ceremony on Friday. The man, who is not being named to protect his daughter's identity, ran onto the stage just after the girl had been handed her diploma and began working her way down a line of school officials shaking hands. Before she can get to the district superintendent, Rainey Briggs, Rainey, just in case you don't know what race he is, Rainey Briggs, the man wearing a white polo shirt and baseball cap, grabbed Briggs by his right arm and pushed him away. And I quote, he yelled out, "That's my daughter," end quote. The man can be heard saying in the video of the ceremony. Briggs can be heard telling the man, "You better get up off me, man. Get away from me, bro." As staff working the graduation and 3 Baraboo police officers, including the school resource officer, intervened. At one point, a voice can be heard saying, "I don't want her touching him." Police escorted the man out of the school following the incident. Now, school board president Kevin Vodak, board members Gwen Peterson, Katie Kalish, and Amy DeLong, and Baraboo High School principal Steve Considine shared the stage with Briggs. Now, you heard all those names, believe it. I'm trying to illuminate this story for you. The man did not interact with any of them, but only confronted Briggs. In a statement, district spokesperson Haley Wagner said a disorderly conduct charge for the man was referred to the Sauk County District Attorney's Office. We would like to emphasize that the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and community members is a top priority, the statement said. Friday's graduation ceremony came during a particularly fraught time in the district. A large group of residents, including a former district teacher who worked in the district prior to Briggs' tenure, have voiced numerous complaints against Briggs, other administrators, and the school board. The group is currently attempting to recall Vodak and has until July 14th to submit more than 2,500 signatures to force a recall election. If the campaign is successful, Vodak said the election will be in late August or early September at the earliest. Vodak is up for re-election next spring. Critics have accused Vodak of favoritism toward the administration, providing inadequate pay and administrative support for teachers, and unfairly firing the former Jack Young Middle School principal, Abby Alt, and school resource officer, Amanda Sabal, among others. Many of the grievances have been shared through social media, including the Baraboo Community Conversations and Baraboo SD Wisconsin Parents' Rights in Education Facebook page. So the question was, prior to this story, Jeremiah asks, was it merely about race? Or was it so first of all, I'm gonna just say this. If you saw the video,
looks very racially charged.
Thank you, attorney. It looked very racially charged because everybody on that stage, first of all, if you're upset with the principal who's white, why didn't you stop her from shaking his hand?
Correct.
You went to the only black brother and said, but see, this is why Trump America has ruined this country, because it has empowered white people to do some stuff that would have got their teeth knocked out. You know, because the way he grabbed that black brother on that stage, I was watching that video, and I'm no fighter.
And kudos to him, man.
Kudos to him.
Keeping his peace.
I wanted to jump through that phone.
Let me tell you something. It couldn't have been all of us. I probably have to, you know, people sometimes they in a position that they got too much to lose. And so kudos to that brother for handling, you know, because we can't act the way everybody else acts.
Yeah.
But I would have just asked to have closing remarks. And I would have told that man, you bleach blonde, bad bitch, bushy body man. When I see you in the parking lot. But to take that moment away from your daughter, that's something she gonna remember for the rest of her life, because you wanted to have a racist moment, and then you telling her you don't want her to touch a black man, but you touching one. And I can guarantee you, the way I know God works, when that girl grow up, she gonna want to touch a black man. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Well, you know what? Shout out to Bishop Talbert Swan, who is a Church of God in Christ jurisdictional bishop from Maine or East Coast. But I follow him, and he put up and he prayed. He said, "I pray that she go to college, and
a historically black one,
and she meet a black man that do more than just
Lord,
shake
please,
her
Senator
hand."
Clark Atlanta, Senator Clark Atlanta, Senator Howard.
Yeah, you know, I think I don't understand, and you know, what empowers these
privilege?
Yeah, okay,
it's pure privilege.
It's pure privilege,
but the privilege is in the pudding, right? And the reason I say
pudding
that
without no sugar or seasoning, because
very flour tasting. But with one of the things that you said was that he was charged with, or they made a report for disorderly conduct.
They recommended. That's the word I didn't like. Recommendation.
What does that mean, attorney?
So did we not call the police on him?
I've never been recommended for a crime charge.
And then disorderly conduct. This was a battery. You physically touched this man.
Come on, attorney.
You caused bodily harm to him. Why is it disorderly conduct when you've committed a battery?
That's why she my attorney.
Why is that?
Well, I hope
but that's the privilege.
I hope that Briggs. See, now here's where black people get on my nerves. Now here's where it's gonna happen. Because what happens like this is then we come out wanting to be the bigger person, saying I'm not gonna press charges.
Oh no.
Because I'm taking the high road, or because I'm turning the other cheek. No, you got to do like that kid. Because let me tell you something. Soon as he would have got on stage, I would have started screaming, I feel like my life is in danger, because that's what a Karen would have did.
I tell people this all the time, okay? I'm not Michelle Obama. When they go low, I get to the flow. Okay? I'm on the flow with it. I would have sold it. I'd be pressing charges against the school right now.
You know this
for not protecting me,
for
not handling
workers' compensation.
I can't work. I'm injured.
Don't mess with no lawyers. Y'all hear all this? This why it's hard to date a lawyer.
I'd at least be trying to make these claims.
You do something wrong with a lawyer, you getting sued. you just ain't breaking up. She gonna get some compensation.
Well, I heard a quote last night that wealthy people sue for sport. And they don't take it personal. They will sue you. Y'all still gonna be friends.
It's the principle.
It's just the principle.
It's the principle. Like this man getting on stage, it just flashed me back to Will Smith. Like, who told him he could be Will Smith?
He did do a Chris Rock. He walked up the stage. Well, went on there.
Too bad Mika not here.
Keep my daughter's name out your mouth.
That's what. Too bad Mika not here, because this would be a great opportunity for her to talk about the reason that white people can sue for sport like they do is because they properly insured, and the insurance company is the ones that's putting forth the attorneys. So.
Well, listen, we're praying for Superintendent Rainey Briggs.
Rainey Briggs.
I love his mother for being really creative with that name. Rainey Briggs.
He had a rainy
But
day.
I hope it wasn't right. I hope that Brother Rainey does not allow this father to do this and not have to suffer the consequences, right? Because we will say, we'll do a press conference, think it's going to get us something. We ain't gonna get nothing but a pat on the back, and they gonna talk about us behind closed doors. Like them Negroes still didn't do nothing right.
I can guarantee this man was, just from the way he went on that stage, I can tell he was one of the Capitol rioters. One of them wall. This man was a wall climber, and he ain't learned his lesson yet.
He scaled the wall.
So take it to the furthest extent. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Take it to the furthest extent, sir. All right.
Well, you know what?
And mandate for his daughter to go to Clark Atlanta. Come on, I'm with you.
I do think it's also convenient, you know, that they're not releasing his name.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, he gets to hide behind, he gets to be a racist and dark. He basically gets to keep his hood on.
You know what? I was going to say that, but the reason you make a good point, because my mind went to, because if it was a black guy or black team, it would have been like Pookie Davis, 22 from out west. Rihanna. Yeah, it would have been all that info. But see, this is America.
Yeah.
And this is where we had that privilege. My only thought was, okay, they want to protect the daughter. And I'm like, because I feel so bad for her because her father did that. And like you said, that's embarrassment. That's going to be with her forever, because she in this age group, these Gen Zers, you know, we grew up, if it ain't documented, it didn't happen. Oh, it's on TikTok, it's on Twitter. They talking about it, and I'm sure her name and her daddy name out here somewhere.
But that's also a ploy. Yeah, that's also a ploy.
Her father done raised her up in his likeness.
That's a ploy. They not protecting the daughter, because anybody in their right mind is not coming at no child for what they.
I'm with Jeremiah. Drop in Atlanta, but listen, she'll be all right. we gonna drop it like it's hot, and we gonna take you. It ain't Thursday no more.
We gonna drop it like it's hot.
It is Sunday.
We ain't throwing it back.
We gonna take you to Sunday morning on this Throwback Thursday. It's Georgia Mass Choir Sunday morning medley right here. Up next is a special interview with the attorney India Rios right here on the Brunch.
Whoop, whoop. Looking forward to it.
All right, listen.
This morning when I rose, what's the old lady name sing all the songs on here? Her name Rose. Let's just call her Rose.
Rose.
She look like a Rose.
Listen, Rainey should have knocked Buddy out, but I think he could have lost his job. So in that moment. So what he needs to do is make sure he press charges.
Even then, he shouldn't have lost his job. He should have been able to defend himself.
And I didn't see no other black.
We can't do that. We can never defend ourselves.
Never.
I'll tell you what though, because see that happened to me before. Not like in that instance, but something similar, where somebody said something at the church to me when I was on the mic, and I wasn't doing comedy. And you know, the parking lot is a different.
It ain't the church. See, we grew up with respect. They fighting in church.
I let them know in the matchless name. I catch you in the parking lot, because these hands they do different things in the pulpit from the parking lot. Period.
A white lady did me like that at a Broadway play. No, she didn't do me like he did. But I had pulled my phone out, and you know, the rule of thumb is that you're the play. You don't, keep your phone down, which is cool. But my light was really low. And I'm checking on my kids, because my son has health issues. She gets up, and she behind me. She wasn't even sitting behind me. She was cat a corner and just get in my ear. You need to get off of that phone, blah, blah, and spitting. And I was like, I'm like, I've been attacked. I called her. I said, now you want to show out, white lady? I'm going to show you how to show out. By the time the theater was over, I couldn't wait to get down that aisle to talk to her, but she was trying to run out. She knew what time. Before I got down there, I made a scene just like they would have did.
He had a Karen.
I said, I can't believe it. And they was like, and I know a few people say, Action Jackson, you okay? I said, she just attacked me.
Why you was on the floor? What they say? Action Jackson.
I'm like, she attacked me.
Action Jackson.
I told her, don't you ever walk up on no black man. I said, because if it would have been another black man, you would have probably got your teeth knocked out.
He had a Karen.
The reaction just would have been.
And her man never even looked at me either. He was just like grabbing and trying to walk up. I'm like, you don't want these problems.
She know she probably like she does this everywhere.
All the time.
That's a Karen. That happened to me, but with a black dude. See, y'all get Karens around where I live. We got black dudes that act like Karens. I call them Darrens. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you trying to Darren me?
Darren.
Yeah,
I like that.
Just keep living. You gonna run into one.
It's just funny what you said earlier. True words haven't been spoken. When you said. Like that man's daughter is probably gonna end up touching a black man.
Oh, she gonna touch a black man.
100%.
There's no question about it.
They gonna be lining up.
Oh, I hope so.
Take me to the king.
No, just bring us in. You can. Drop. Let's do it now, though.
They gonna tear her up in pieces.
We've been having too much fun. I gotta get to Attorney Rio.
Wait till she hear that black man play.
And then after this, Candace, I need to cut a commercial. You good with recording it?
Yeah, after the show.
Yeah. Attorney Rio, where you going? Sugar, thank you. I got your shirt.
I'm gonna count.
I meant to bring it up.
In 3. Hold on. The screen's still messing up.
Oh, Lord, this $1 billion company.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Where's the action, Jackson?
I'll tell you.
So, what's going on is you've heard it all hour long, but we want to give a formal introduction. I'd like to introduce you to Attorney India Rios, a seasoned trademark and business law attorney dedicated to helping entrepreneurs and creatives build strong legal foundations for their ventures. Born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio, India pursued her education at the Ohio State University and DePaul University College of Law. With expertise in trademark registration, brand protection, business formation, and contract negotiation, she empowers clients to navigate the legal landscape confidently. She's an active community member and mentor. India is committed, and I'm talking about committed, to fostering generational wealth and lasting legacies in the dynamic market of today. Let's give a warm brunch. Welcome to Attorney India Rio.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you all. And again, I appreciate you guys for having me here today.
You know what? I forgot you from Youngstown, and I have family in Youngstown. I don't know. Did we talk about that?
I feel like you have told me that.
Yeah, they own the street sweeping company. They sweep to clean the streets
Sanitation.
and stuff. Sanitation, yeah.
Action Jackson Sanitation.
I'm trying to Beck. Archie Beck. Beck is my family last name. And your cousin, I'm right. I know what I'm talking about. You know what? Go back to Youngstown. But speaking of,
But you said maybe in Old Town.
no, listen. Speaking of Youngstown, can you tell us about your journey from Youngstown to becoming a trademark and business law attorney in the big city, Chicago?
Oh my goodness, that's quite a journey, I would say. So graduated from high school. Before I did any formal education, I went to the Navy. I was in the United States Navy for a while. Served honorably, loved it. Decided to transition from the Navy to pursue my undergraduate degree at The Ohio State, as you previously mentioned. I was at OSU, really loved The Ohio State University. 10 out of 10, definitely recommend to anybody looking for colleges. Anyways, and then I transitioned from Columbus here to Chicago. So I wanted to move to a bigger city. I applied to about 10 law schools total, and 5 of them were in Chicago. So I was really
wanted to be here.
Yeah, wow. It was between Chicago, New York, and LA. I felt like Chicago was the most cost efficient, but then also was still giving big city vibes with transit. My first 3 years in the city, I only caught CTA exclusively. Wow. Which I know people from here despise CTA.
Because what is the CTA? No.
I loved it.
When you grow up on something,
it's so much culture. It's so much culture. To really get tapped into Chicago culture when you first arrive, there's a lot that goes on. She must have took the purple line. There's a lot that goes on. She was on the purple line.
Youngstown must have had a good public transportation.
We did not have that. We drive everywhere, which is also fun because I was driving early, way before my time.
I got you. Now it makes sense because Jeremiah said you must have been on the purple line.
Yeah, when you start from DePaul, you start from 63rd Street is a little
because the red line is a different beat.
I was catching what they call it, the murder line, the red line.
They call it the murder. I live here.
And they didn't even know that.
Why would you catch the murder line? I gotta see what this is about.
I just had to get home. That was my training.
The murder line.
Red runs more often than green.
Well, I am glad that you're here. You've been a blessing to the city, to the Dream Center, and to all of the clients that I referred to. We want to jump right into why a trademark's crucial for businesses and entrepreneurs.
Oh, it's so simple. If you haven't registered your trademark, you don't own your brand. Is that simple, to be honest with you. If you haven't registered your trademark, you don't own your brand. And I ask my clients all the time, would you build a house on land you don't own?
If you got good sense, you would.
Exactly, right? So you spend all of this time, all of this effort and energy coming up with the name, coming up with the concept, dropping all of the branding and marketing behind it. And that's a major investment in not only time, but money, right? So you spend all of this time, all of this money building up this brand recognition. And then you find yourself in a position to where you have to move out of the house that you built on somebody else's land.
Because it ain't your land.
Because they own it. And crazy enough, there are situations in trademarks where it's not about who was first, it's about who's registered first. Right? Registration is really king, you know? So it's not necessarily a matter of who's first, who's registered first.
So if I start the business first and somebody take my business name and then they register it, even if I was there 10 years, it don't matter.
I give this example all of the time, almost to the point where I think it might be like played out and you can find like sound clips of me giving this example. But the example is of the original Burger King. So the original Burger King is in Mattoon, Illinois.
Yes.
Right? And it's not the Burger King that we think of with the fries and the Whopper and all the rest of that stuff. They actually started like 10 years after the original Burger King. And they registered the mark and they won the right to the name to the point that they froze the old Burger King in place. So they have like a small zone of expansion that the court has issued that they can like, you can expand within this 10 mile radius, basically. But they can't move into other states or grow their business into a national franchise or anything like that because Burger King has the registration and the rights first.
So they may need to change their name to Burger Prince.
Burger Joint, something like that. Yeah.
And who wants to do that?
No, right.
Register your trademark. Register your trademark. Let me ask you this, India. How do trademarks help in building consumer trust and loyalty?
Trademarks is really all about building consumer trust and loyalty. And I could even kind of tie this into a really cool, like recent example, right? With Yeezy, right? So trademarks guarantee that your expectation of a product or your expectation of a brand meets what you've known to receive from that logo or emblem or name, right? Even if you don't know exactly who's making it. And that's why, you know, when you open a Pepsi in Illinois or you drink a Pepsi in Texas, the Pepsi tastes exactly the same and you have that expectation based off that branding. In Yeezy's situation, he found himself in this space where Adidas has registered all of the patents, right? But Kanye has all of the trademarks. And the reason that Kanye is really slapping Adidas around the way he is because consumer confusion will always trump patent enforcement or copyright enforcement. Consumer confusion will always need to be remedied, right? So if you're issuing a shoe that looks like something he would produce under this brand, it doesn't matter that you own the patent, you're infringing on his trademark.
And you're confusing consumers.
Wow.
That's interesting. So, man, we've had so much fun today, but and I am so happy to announce, believers, although we don't have much time with it today, we're going to have a lot of time with her because we are welcoming attorney India Rios to the Brunch Bunch. She'll have a bi-monthly segment where she'll be coming on to educate you all on trademarks and business law. And because, of course, here on the Brunch Bunch, our aim is to send you back better than you came.
Come on.
And so we want to educate the believers on how to do it right. But you also, you know, we're the gift that keeps on giving. You want to give out a nice little promo today for the believers that are listening who want to trademark their business.
So I am offering $100 off of a trademark consultation. So that's knocking the price down from $350 to $250 for you to get your trademark search and the basic steps of understanding whether or not you can register your brand. I believe we did a code for this, and correct me if I'm wrong. It is Brunch Bunch.
Brunch Bunch, and all they have to do is call.
And call me at 773-455-0711. Again, that number is 773-455-0711.
And I want to just say this before we go. I want you to know why this is so important. If you've started a business, if you got a brand, if you got a book, if you got a drink, or you got some barbecue sauce, or you got a comedy special.
Come on.
You want it before you start talking. And I was out of the country, and I told a friend, she was giving out samples, and I said, listen, you taking your business international now. Somebody may take this name. You got to make sure you get a trademark before you share it too much, because you don't want to be where you have to change the name because somebody else took it, trademarked it, and they're not confusing your consumers.
The big companies protect before they launch. You protect before you launch.
And if they do the initial consultation and they can trademark their business, then you deduct that from the
actual service. Yes. So the $250 that you would pay if you're using the coupon would allow you to then apply that to the overall service.
So all you got to do, believe, is call 773-455-0711. That's 773-455-0711. Let them know you heard about it on the Brunch Bunch, and you'll receive $100 off your initial consultation. Attorney India, I want you to come back with us tomorrow. We're going to give another little tidbit. But listen, believers, we're out of time, but we're never out of content. In the spirit of the late, great Reverend Evans, no matter what you're going through, go home, go to bed, pull the covers over your shoulders, and go to sleep, because angels are watching over you. Woo. Up next, AC Green. Oh, Freeway, we'll see you tomorrow. He'll be back with us tomorrow, believers. Attorney India, if you got time, stop in for a couple of minutes tomorrow. We got you. We're going to keep this party going. Believers, we will see you tomorrow. Happy birthday to Mara Fair. Woo, 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 woo. We out. Mic drop.
Boy.
Zoe, you didn't put all night, all day in there? So have a wonderful day, believers. See you all.